Should you buy a used LC500 right now? Let's talk about it. But first, do me a huge favor and subscribe to the channel so I can keep bringing you guys some weekly videos about the LC500 and many more. Car shows, cars and coffees, you name it, wherever we're going. We're actually going to Florida next weekend, and I'm hoping to film some car stuff out there if there's any cars or car spotting. I don't know, we'll just see what happens, but let's get back to this video and get on it. Those crispy downshifts sound so good. Crispy. So as I drive around a little bit, I will tell you exactly, after 10 months of owning this car, this is a 2018 LC500. After 10 months of owning it, what's my honest feedback? I made a video in the past. It didn't go over so well because I know I talked too much about how much I love this car, not enough about how much I didn't like about it. So there are some things I don't like about this car, but they really are very minor. There's nothing major I don't like about this car. But let's just get right to it. Now let's start with the negatives first. It would have to be probably the lack of power. I wish it had a little more power to it because of the heftiness of the car, because it's heavy. It's a little over 4,000 pounds. This car comes factory 471 horsepower. I feel, it feels good. It doesn't feel sluggish necessarily, but because of the weight of the car, you feel like, man, if it just had 50 more horsepower. When you get to a point to where there's just not a whole lot of mods for the engine, of course you can do exhaust, and I think there's pulleys and stuff like that, but as a naturally aspirated V8, there's not a whole lot you could do in tuning on the LC500, because from my research, I think there's only one person out there who's tuning the LC500. I think his name it's like Tuned by Loy, and I haven't reached out to him. I'm not affiliated. I don't know anything about, besides I think there's been a couple of guys on YouTube who have got their LC tuned by him. But because of the lack of engine mods, and I just don't know how much tuning you could do to this car to make a huge difference. So, I don't care about this car shooting flames or nothing like that, right? I want this car to last. I don't want to burn it up. Quite frankly, I don't have the money to burn up a car like this, like some of these other guys do. But no, maybe one day we just get crazy enough and really, like, I don't know, do a crazy durability test with the LC500. I need a lot more subscribers. So, all right, more nitpicking. I wish this 2018 model did have a front camera. Because the nose is so long. I really didn't have an issue before when I would park this car when it was just like stock, but now that I have it lowered and I got a front lip and stuff, I've already twice like barely parked up into a curb, so that sucks because the nose on this car feels really long. But again, it's only until you start really doing things of the car, you start customizing it, then you little things you kind of like, ooh, I wish it had this. That would definitely help. Other people talk about the trackpad on this car as a big negative. To be honest, I don't mind the trackpad. Like, it's really grown on me. I mean, it just doesn't bother me. I love where it's at. I mean, I'll just rest my hand in volume, turn up the volume, turn it down. It is very ergonomically, it just feels good. So I think here is just well thought out. I don't mind the trackpad though, to be honest with you. You get used to it and then you realize like this isn't bad. I don't hate the trackpad on this car like some others do. Now here's another goofy thing right here, but this is no fault of Lexus, and it's because of my little TPS sensor that is right there. I need to get that fixed because the wheels that I got on my car, when I had my wheels mounted on these, when I had my tires mounted on these new wheels, I had them go ahead and buy TPMS sensors. This is a discount tire. So So go ahead and buy brand new TPMS sensors so I didn't have to take my factory ones out of the original tires, because I still have my factory tires and wheels and they're just in the garage. So I didn't want to mess with those. They went ahead and just ordered new sensors. They put them in, but for whatever reason, my car is not reading those sensors. So I have to take my car back. I think they might have ordered the wrong sensors for this car. Maybe it's for a different type of Lexus. But at the end of the day, I got to get that back. So right now I don't have any tire pressure monitor, anything. And I just got that stupid icon just staring at me every day, which drives me nuts. So that is something I got to get fixed. But again, it's no fault of Lexus or the LC500. But since owning this car, when I come to parking lots and when I need to park my vehicle, I do not park next to anybody at all. I'm always parking further out than where I want to park, because I am so paranoid about door dings on this car, because there's no trim, there's no molding on the side, which I like. Okay, I like it. It looks very clean. It's super smooth. But because of that, I am like really paranoid to get any kind of a door ding on this vehicle. So I don't park next to people. You know, that's just the nature of the beast, I guess. And then let's talk about the maintenance, because that's a big one. That was a huge factor when it came to me buying this car, is maintenance costs over a BMW or a Mercedes. Oil change, if you take it to Lexus, at least a Lexus here in Dallas, it's like $170. Of course, they wash your car for you for free. Super expensive? I mean, not really. Can you do it yourself? Absolutely, because it's not hard to do. It's just a time thing, you know. Does your time allow you to change your oil? I just take it to Lexus. It is for a convenience factor. You know, so $170 when you gotta change the oil. But I know guys with GTRs that are spending $500 every 2,000 miles to get their oil change. So when you compare it to that, you know, as a daily driver, man, that adds up real fast. Another, you know, minor issue I've had with the car was both of my front tie rods went out, so they had to be replaced. Thankfully, because it's a, you know, the Lexus part, I was able to get them online. Really inexpensive, $140 for both front tie rods, and installation wasn't that much either. So, you know, that's a big plus. When I first got this car, I did not really like this color red on the interior here. The Alcantara, the leather or vinyl. I don't know if that's leather or vinyl. It feels like leather. It's very soft, but I don't know. There's something about it. I wasn't really fond of this red. As a matter of fact, I was looking for like all black, but it's really grown on me. I've kind of gotten to where I'm glad I didn't get all black. I like that red now because it's kind of more of a wine color red, not champagne, but like wine. So I don't know, I've grown to it. So I like the red. When you first get the LC500, or if you're looking, you know, of course, that moving tack, it's super cool at first, but you get over it. It's nothing you sit there and play with while you're driving, so I don't even think about that anymore. And lastly, when it comes to issues, the only thing I've had with this car, which if you watch my latest videos or my last videos, you would have saw that I had to replace the driver rear strut. And I was so convinced that it was going to be a bushing or something. Come to find out, it was a strut going bad. Funny thing is, after they did change it, oh my gosh, the driving, I didn't realize that the strut felt as bad as it did. So the driving, the way this car handles now is so much better. So little thing, it was just slowly going out to the point to where it's like, I just didn't really notice. But now I was like, oh my gosh, night and day. The suspension, the rear feels tight. It feels really, really good. So I'm glad I got that fixed. The downside of it is that it wasn't cheap to fix. $1,800 to replace the factory strut on an LC500 from Lexus. Now, could I got it cheaper somewhere else? Possibly, but my issue was I wasn't going to buy a cheap, you know, strut off eBay. I just didn't trust it. Dang, I see a vet over here with no hood. It looks like it might be kind of mean. I love it. I love this car. For NAV8 and as heavy as it is, it still has, you know, it's got pretty much really good get up and go. Even with 22-inch wheels on this thing, it feels good. I mean, just like I'm not automatic mode. I'm not using paddle shifters, and I'm just gonna punch it. I mean, it feels wonderful. Do it again. It feels great. I love this car. I just wish there was some way we could tune it to get it even more crazy, but I'm fine with it. And this car revs really high, considering it gets to about, you know, it'll stay up about 5-6 grand. Keep those RPMs up, it sounds really good. So when you do need to punch it or floor it, your RPMs are already high and it just gets on it, which I really like that. So who is this car for? Well, you're probably looking at something like a C8, an M4, M3. Speaking of C8s, pretty blue one right there. Not a huge fan of C8s personally. I like the C7s more than a C8. It's just me. But if you're looking at something like an M4, an M3, let's see, a C63S, and I mentioned those cars because those are the cars that I was looking at before I got this. You know, as a daily driver, this thing is awesome. I mean, it's an amazing daily driver, and it looks beautiful. It looks so much better than, my gosh, if you ask me, 90% of the stuff out there now are things faster? Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. I'm just not into, you know, buying, you know, if I got two cars, one I think looks better and it's quick. The other one, I don't necessarily like the looks as much, but it's a lot quicker. You know, it depends on what you're going for. And especially if the other vehicle, man, they're a dime a dozen. You just see them everywhere. Car shows, Cars and Coffee, wherever you go, and they have whole sections full of that car, then what's so freaking special about it at that point? If it's your car, nothing. Because you're probably, you know, parking next to one that's probably got 100 horsepower more. So let's just talk about this for a minute. For $105,000, which is what this particular car costs brand new. Now, I didn't buy it brand new. It's a 2018, and I only got this about 10 months ago. But brand new, the sticker on this car is $105,000. Would I pay $105,000 for this car? Personally, no, I wouldn't. And let me explain. Well, look at there. Black LC. So let's just look at this car for a minute. Here's a black LC500. Stock. Looks good. I mean, that's a good looking car. That's a convertible. I'm not a huge fan of convertibles, but it's a good looking car. Now I have to turn back around because I missed my exit. But I want to take you guys to the dealership where I bought this car. and let's go browse around and see what they have in this same price range. But other cars to consider. You get in a price range where even before I got this, the car that I wanted the most out of anything, and is still one of my dream cars, is a Nissan GTR. It's still a dream car of mine. I still maybe one day will get one. The prices on those are just, the market is just through the roof. But for about 100 grand, I don't know, I'd probably look to get a maybe 2017 GTR. I don't even know if you can get them for 100 grand anymore. I would probably go there. But Audi R8, now it probably wouldn't be the V10, it'd be the V8, but the maintenance, you could buy the car for 100 grand, but it's the maintenance is just crazy expensive. So you could get a G80 BMW, but you know, it would be brand new, so you can have it, it'd be under warranty, which is great. But then, you know, by the time you start fixing it up and everything, and man, I bought this car for $64,000. This is a $100,000 car, technically a little bit more, that you could buy for in the $60,000 range. And because of that, it is a freaking no-brainer. Unlike a LC at a BMW dealer. Okay, let's go. Well, that they had an M3, an M4. They don't have the pricing on them, but their 2022s are very low miles, so you know they had to been up in the 90,000 plus range, I'm sure, probably more. I like the Lexus reflection in the mirror, the windows. Let's go to Lexus and see what they got. Let's go. I like this color. Let's see what it is. 2024, so it's brand new. 108,000. It's got the carbon fiber roof. Not bad. Not bad. These are convertibles. I just don't like convertibles. Those wheels look better though. I like those wheels much better than those wheels. Another convertible. What's the price on it? $115. So there you go. 108,000. 105. I know the sticker on this one was 105 when it was new. I got it somewhere. Thankfully, they still kept it. So, you know, it's a lot of money. And if you're asking why am I not looking at like IS500s and all those, the other Lexus, to be honest with you, I don't care for the looks. They're just, even though maybe performance wise they're probably you know, they are a little bit more track focused, they're just too sedan looking. It's just, you know, they do nothing for me. And it sucks because they're such great cars. I just wish, you know, like I mean, if you compared like an M3 next to like an IS500, man, the M3 looks so much better. It just does. But you know, Acuras, I don't care about Acuras. I was like past the Acura dealer. We can see what they have. Let's just check out Mercedes. Let's see if they got any C63S AMG coupes, which I do love that car. I love the grills. Ooh, that's nice. Right there. I like that a lot. I love the Mercedes grills. They just, that vertical grill like that, I don't know what you call it, but man, That is so mean. I don't care for the CLAs. They're too slopey. Wait, is that a, no, that's not one. No. Looking. Here's an, oh, that's a, ooh, there's a C63S right there. Ooh. Same black. No, that's a different one. Oh, it's a different LC, but I like that color black. I just don't like the chrome. So I got to get this car with a massive chrome delete, like quick. And of course, it's a woman driving it. There are so many women who drive this car, and it's almost comical. But the way I look at it is like, hey, women who love the LC, you got taste. That's all it is. You guys got taste. So way to go with your good taste in cars. So if you're looking for more info, basically on just discussing, you know, of how I feel about what I love about this car, like, man, you could watch pretty much any one of my videos, and every one I talk about how much I love this car. Quick recap on it. Obviously, the looks are number one. That's, you know you found a car that you love, as every time you park it, you turn back and look at it, and you're like, damn, I can't believe that's my car. That's when you know you got the right car for you. Now, hopefully maintenance and everything else and the longevity, it's reliable because you want a reliable car, then, you know, that's a whole different game. But when you look at the car and just gives you goosebumps, you know what I mean. Get them goosebumps, girl. That's when you know you got the right car. That's what I love about this car. But I'm building a YouTube channel. I'm building my brand. I'm just doing this around car content. So tell me, guys, what do you want to see? Do you want to see more of the LC500 build? Or do you want to see a different car? Let me know what you think. Because I love this car, but if you guys don't want to watch it, maybe I need a different car. So before I wrap up this video, the LC500, should you get one? 471 horsepower, it weighs a little over 4,000 pounds. It's a heavy car. That's a heavy car. But let me tell you something. Heavy can also mean good, because when they built this car, they built this to be a GT car. It's a Grand Touring car. Just like there's other manufacturers who make Grand Touring cars. Ferrari makes Grand Touring cars. Okay, there's many people who do it. The whole point of a Grand Tour is to be comfortable for road trips, cruising, highway. Typically, kind of a long wheelbase. So it's not really designed to like carve up the countryside or carve up the racetrack. So that gives you a perspective of like how and why this car is made. It's heavy because it's so well built. They didn't go light. They didn't skimp out on materials. It's obvious. Like everything, just the details that I've talked many times about this car are just amazing. All right, I know if we're talking race cars and power to weight difference and power to weight ratios and stuff, then you want your car to be lighter. But we're talking as just a daily driving, solid, reliable car. There's nothing wrong with a heavy car then. So if you're looking at an LC500, and if you can pick one up, a used one, in that $60,000 range that still has fairly low miles, man, I would drop everything and I would grab one so fast, because you got to look ahead at the future of what automotive manufacturers are doing. It's more and more electric cars, it's hybrids, it's smaller engines, the V6s and 4 cylinders with turbos, and a lot of times you don't get the reliability out of those engines. And with this one being a naturally aspirated V8, man, those are going to be dinosaurs. They're going to be so rare that you better, while the market on these cars are as low as they are, I would pick one up as fast as you can because the reliability is there. Man, like I would grab one so fast, and I'm going over some rough rough roads. Man, yeah, see that right there? That scares me. What? I might have to get off of this. I'm listening. Any rub? Not rubbing, but like, okay, I worry about the lip. This car's low, and I worry about the ground effects, like scraping over that middle hump, but it didn't, so that's good. So it's just tall enough. Gosh dang it, there's more. All right, this is low life right here, low life problems. So even though this V8 sounds really good from the factory, it does not sound good enough for my ears. So we gotta change that. We gotta get exhaust on this car. It needs exhaust. I'm just cruising right now. It's quiet. I don't really hear much of anything. Now if I get on the car a little bit, now you hear that? Let me get this little Suzuki out of my way. And then let me slow down a little bit. I mean, this is very faint. You hear it? It's just faint. It's not loud enough. We gotta open this baby up, so exhaust is still probably going to be the next mod. We got any exhaust hookups out there? Holla at me, man. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching the channel. And you know, this is a new channel, so if there's anything you want to see or you want to see more of, definitely, man, let me know. Drop that comment below so I can make sure I'm putting out content that you guys want to see.